Hi everybody, Matt Geary for the Geek Pridecast, back on a Sunday evening. Tonight with me I have a eclectic assortment of nerds. First up we've got Laura Benson.
Hi everyone.
And we've got some very noisy motorbikes flying around in the background. We've got Peter Ray Allison.
Hey, how you doing? You're all.
We have Mark Canty.
Hello.
We have Joshua Varney.
What's up?
And Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Hello, everybody.
Right. Been a week. What you been up to? What's been going on? Josh, what have you been up to? You've not been on for a while, so what have you been up to?
Slowly going grayer and whiter than I care to, and listening to a lot of Otis Redding to relax. Because I've become, father, full-time teacher, while obviously my kids are homeschooling with this whole shit that's going down. My son actually came in, I think, this morning and said, "Oh, Dad, by the way, have you heard? We're going back to school in June, on June the 1st. And I went, "No, you're not. You're not in those grades they've been told. And by the way, we're in Wales, and at the moment, Wales is still closed." And he went, "Oh, so are we still stuck at home?" I was like, "You're still being stuck at home with me teaching you." He went, "I miss my teacher." I said, "I hate your teacher."
Are they how are they finding it? Are they enjoying the fact that they're off school, or are they missing their friends and stuff? So how's it going?
Dante's quite lucky because he's got a Nintendo Switch, so his friends play Splatoon online. So they have like matches every other evening, so he gets to talk to his friends while he's on that. My daughter, on the other hand, is fucking hating it, literally hating it. She just wants to go out. She wants to go and play. She wants to go to school to play with her friends. So it's trying to set her down and just explain the situations. But I've got to say, I know this doesn't get said anywhere, but
And it still doesn't get said now.
I know this doesn't get said anywhere, but and then he's just gone. Josh.
The universe has decided it shall never be said.
How to leave us hanging, bro? How to leave us hanging?
Tune in next week to find out.
That was not my fault. That was not my fault. I had a rogue child come in and knock things off.
But you couldn't have timed that any better.
Son of a... it's like my son just walked in and went, "Booyah!" And I thought, oh, thanks, Dante. That's everything on the floor. So as I was saying, she's become a little bit depressed recently, but it's just trying to perk her up, get her to doing things. And so far, I've tried to encourage her that if she does chores around the house, she helps me with the washing, she helps me with the dishes, she gets £1. So she focuses then on getting like a pound to a 7-year-old is a fucking fortune to McDuck.
Yeah.
So
she's
been seeing these things in B&M called click pets, whatever they are, like bracelets you can pull apart, and they're like wuzzles. It's half this and half that. So every week she's got a goal that when we go to do our shopping, she's got money, she can go in, she can buy what she wants, and just to perk her up a little bit. My son couldn't give a flying fuck. He's absolutely just thrilled to be in his room on his Switch playing, doesn't give a monkeys whatsoever. And then we introduced barbecues. And now my son wants a barbecue every week. And it's just it's like, there's only so much fire one man can produce at a time in his back garden with the neighbors getting extremely pissed off. And by the way, my next door neighbors are vegan.
Oh no.
So being the prime carnivore here, it's usually steak, bacon, sausages, and my daughter likes prawns, being the typical New Zealander, shrimp on the barbie. Sorry, Laura. So as you can imagine, their faces next door is like, "You're a murderer." I said, "No, I didn't kill it. I'm going to eat it. There's a difference." It's been quite fun.
How are your kids finding it, Pete? Obviously not great, considering you've broken your arm or something.
Yeah, well, not broken, just damaged it, but I'm fine. Yes, it's with varying degrees of acceptance and resentment. Basically, my eldest is fine with it. She gets on, does her work, but she misses school in that she misses her friends, but doesn't miss the teachers.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. My son is a bit. But I'm not going to school. Why do you have to do schoolwork when I'm not going to school? Like, no, yeah, this is like homeschooling.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to school. Yes, but and so on. My youngest is still at nursery. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because his mum, his dad, his brother, and his sister are all at home, and he's loving it.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I think
So yeah. So
I'm sure I would have been buzzing. I was just like my 6, 7, 8-year-old self would be absolutely buzzing right now about having all this time off to do stuff. I'd just be winding my parents up.
yeah, and yeah, basically there's 3 kids and 2 parents. So yeah, we kind of outnumbered on the whole keeping the living room tidy. Hence the dodgy arm, and hence the out splat. What did I just stand on? Ow, my arm hurts.
Mark,
yeah, no kids, no real worries about anything. The other half goes to work regularly because she's a vet nurse.
Yep.
I stay at home and I get bothered into doing work because I've been working from home anyway. And it's just a case of trying to remember I'm not allowed to get close enough to throttle my co-workers when they drive me nuts.
There's that, yes.
Social distancing equals beyond melee range.
And Jon Jo?
Oh, do you know, this week's been a bit of a weird one. I was even thinking this morning while I woke up, it's like, oh god, it's Sunday already. It's like, damn, the week has already gone by. Do you know, I've probably just been catch up on repeat viewings of TV shows, if anything. I've watched the whole series of Journeyman again, one of my favourite TV shows. If you've not seen it, do give it a watch. And funny enough, I was digging through some of my DVDs and I started watching the BBC Robin Hood from about 12, 13 years ago.
Oh wow!
Hooded Man.
I remember that.
Do you know what? I actually quite enjoyed it, and then it got really dull for me. I really didn't like the last series, but I rewatched it again this week, and I actually got hooked on it, and I really got stuck into it because I forgot David Harewood was in it because he pretty much played their version of Friar Tuck. And
is that the one Richard Armitage was in?
That was.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was it's actually a really good show, and it was one of them ones that when it first came on, because it was what the BBC called at the time, it was their autumn Doctor Who slot. It was like, it was the 7 o'clock Saturday evening show. It's like, yeah, we got to do something big and dramatic. And for a show that is near enough 14 years old now from when it first started, it's aged really well, and some of the special effects still hold out pretty good. The acting, especially Jonas Armstrong, the one that plays Robin Hood, I still think's really good. Richard Armitage.
Sorry to stop you there, Jon Jo. We've got a message on Twitch. Beardy Jim, afternoon, guys. So I'm assuming you're in a different country than us because it's the evening here. Is this Robin Sherwood series or just the Robin Hood one?
Oh, Robin Hood. Yeah, Robin Hood Sherwood was
his sister, apparently.
When I was a kid,
Beardy Jim says that his sister was in the latter. Well, that's cool. Where was it filmed? Where's it filmed? Where are you from, Beardy Jim? Let us know.
It's the TV series that's got the legendary Clannath theme song, hasn't it? The Hooded Man.
Yeah.
There's a story about that from over this way in Swansea where a couple were getting married, and they wanted the Robin Hood song to walk down the aisle, and obviously at the time it was Bryan Adams' number one hit. Instead, the DJ put on Clannath, the Hooded Man, and as they're walking down the aisle, the guy's going, "What the hell is this?" It's like, oh, this is class.
I do remember the old school one when I was growing up. I remember that song quite vividly and stuff, but I hadn't watched any of the newer versions.
They must have shown this Robin Hood in Australia probably a couple of years after they aired here, because 14 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm sure I must have watched it later.
Yeah, 2006 was when the first series came on, and it was one of them shows that obviously they'd done as a Doctor Who, like an autumn replacement almost. And then after that, because I'm planning on rewatching this as well, I found my box set of Merlin season 1 to 5, which
I never watched the season finale of Merlin because everyone was so upset about how it ended, and we all knew how it was going to end.
Yeah. The thing
I couldn't do it.
The thing is, Merlin, I honestly, the first series really dragged for me, but I thought, it had promise. And then from season 2 onwards, I was hooked on it. And it was, I remember watching season 2 and 3 when it was on TV. And then 4 and 5 I caught later on DVD. But I remember I binged both of them series over a weekend. And, it's Colin Morgan who played Merlin. He's such a good actor. He's just got such a great personality to him, and the parts that he's played since then, especially his role in Humans, it goes to show you how versatile and just how broad of an actor he can be. He can just take on such great roles, and you almost forget it's the same person.
Yeah, he's pretty fantastic. I met him at Supernova a couple of years back as well, and he's a very lovely individual. And I think Bradley something, who played Arthur, he's done quite well. He's been in a couple of roles I've quite enjoyed him in. But the thing that I will never stop laughing about with Merlin was how, I don't know if the writers, they must have been doing it on purpose, or they were the most naive people on the planet, but there's a reason why everyone shipped Merlin and Arthur. And I remember people saying, oh, this new show's come out, everyone's shipping these two. I'm like, it can't be that bad. In the very first episode, the very first thing Arthur says to Merlin is, I'm going to teach you to walk on your knees. And I remember just face planting into the table. I was like, that is the most porno fucking opening I've heard.
But when this was...
One minute before you carry on. A couple of things. Laura, your audio when you talk's kind of going a bit fuzzy. Are you using the microphone near your mouth?
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Beardy Jim is actually James Buckingham, former Geek Pride alum. So
Hey, how you doing, dude?
Yeah, sorry, Jimbo. I didn't realize, man. I didn't know your Twitch thing. But he says, no, I'm in UK. Only said afternoon because it's still so bright outside. Yeah, still
True.
bright outside. Yeah. So thank you for joining them, Mr. Buckingham. Another point. Have you got a severed head in your? We've got.
Do you know that'd be the wrong time to be doing that now? The police are on their way.
It's like for all you who are just listening to this, Laura Benson currently is styling the head of a severed head in the in the corner of her screen.
I mean, I can make this worse. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's my disembodied hand thing. You can just can hang out just here, just to be upsetting. He's still wearing his press pass from when we went to Showmasters Lost.
Okay.
Oh, he's about to take a tumble. Oh no, he's not.
Yes, and as you can see, he's nice and creepy, and
he's creepy. He's creepy.
Yeah, I think he's out of battery at the moment, but he generally he walks, and people scream at conventions, and that's great fun.
Right.
Yes, no, I do have. I'm currently styling a wig because I'm the kind of individual who can't just talk. I need to be doing something with my hands at all times, and I have got in trouble in previous podcasts for sewing, so I've tried to come up with things that needed to be done that are quiet. And one of them was styling this wig.
Cool. She says.
Yeah, anyway, that's what my alibi is. Don't worry about it.
No sewing machines this week, then.
As we covered, that's fine.
I do have about 9 wig heads in my room, and it is actually
creepy at all.
Yeah, well, it's not. I've got 9 wig heads, 3 mannequins, and a life-size cutout of Danny DeVito.
So
anytime anyone visits my room, there's always like a scream as they see Danny. They scream, they back up, and they feel arms around them because both my mannequins have arms as well. And so they'll back up like a mannequin, and they'll be like, it's honestly, it's great.
If you ever have kids and they go into that room, they're gonna have therapy for the rest of their lives.
I mean, you've seen my room. The idea is to never have kids because I am the child.
I've got kids. And I've got a coffin in my garage.
Wow.
Okay.
So where did it all start? Well, Daddy had a coffin in his garage.
Oh, the amount of therapy that's going to be happening next few years. So let's talk about a bit about Merlin. Does anyone remember the Camelot series that came on? I think it was 2011, 2012. Joseph Fiennes in it.
Is that the actor, the blonde actor who's really, really like fine bones. Like you can see all the bones in his face. He's really kind of gaunt looking.
Yeah.
And then he was in Mortal Instruments, I think.
Was he more? Joe, I didn't even bother watching that one.
Anyway, it was shit. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Camelot was awful. It was one of them ones that someone said to me, "Oh, you like Merlin, don't you?" Yeah. I'll give this a watch. This is basically like the American version of Merlin. I went, the American version of Merlin. How the fuck does that one work? Where did they film it? Oh, they filmed it in Ireland. Okay, so they filmed it in Ireland, but it's America, right? Okay. And I remember watching that first episode, and I just went, this has got to be the biggest load of shit I've watched for ages. Who actually thought this was a good idea for a show? And everyone's going.
Arthur was just so bizarre. It was that actor I was mentioning before. It's really, really fun. He literally looks like a stiff wind would knock him over. He looks like a healthy drug addict. like he's got all of this definition of a drug addict, but he's still up and going. So good for him. And he just doesn't look like an Arthur, you know.
Yeah, we got Lucifer Samael 66 on Twitch. Oh look, it's that professional looking guy again, and some randoms. hey, Lucifer, how's things, man? Welcome back to the stream. Another thing, just because it's going in my head, Laura, are you using a laptop with a built-in cam or a camera on the top?
Built-in camera, yeah.
Yes, I have a feeling that the audio's coming from your laptop and not from your microphone. That's probably why. Because every time you talk, it gets louder and there's hiss. So I think it's trying to compensate for trying to hear your voice, and it's echoey. So I think
Let me check my settings.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Pete, you were about to say something before for that.
Yeah. Did anyone watch that Merlin series starring Sam Neill?
Yes, loved
That
it.
that was really good.
Just checking, is this any better?
Yes, that's it.
Yay.
Hey!
Yes.
Yeah, looks like my settings reset from last week. I am very sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
Never trust Skype to stay the same more than 2 days in a row.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. You said Lucifer Samuel 6 says, that's why I call you the professional guy and not them. That's it. I'm all about the pro, man. That's all about me. And I don't do mistakes, so I definitely do mistakes.
Well, this podcast started, he was like, who's that making noise in there? Who's that background noise? And it was fucking Gary.
Yeah, that was it. We were at the start, we were like, where's that background noise coming from? And then I realised it was me.
Yeah, but it's like the equivalent of going, where the hell's my phone? I know I had my phone in there. Mate, you're talking to me on your phone. Oh, yeah.
Where did I put my glasses? Oh, I'm wearing them.
Was it like 3-4 weeks ago we first started getting back into doing this, and we started 3/4 of an hour late, after starting half an hour early?
But that wasn't that wasn't a mistake. That was just me trying to set up things, you know. That was me being professional, trying to get everything together in a professional sort of way.
Professionally full of shit, Gary.
I'm professional.
At the time you said we were going to start.
Hey, in the last sort of 3 or 4 times we've done this, it's been on bang on time, mofos. So pro, hashtag pro. Here we go.
Isn't that like working in a shop and saying, isn't it quiet? We're doomed. We're all doomed.
I feel me and you, Mark, are gonna get everybody zoned out for a minute, because I think we need to talk about.
Are we gonna geek out?
We're gonna nerd out about our thing now for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I feel the number 9 coming up, the number 40.
Okay, so for all of you who have zero interest in Warhammer 40,000...
Right, anyway, guys, I'm going to get a beer. I'll see you in a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, I've got my wig styling.
Yeah.
I'm sorted.
Yeah, so
I've got some cleaning to do and papers to grade.
I'll
be back.
You might learn something.
Goldfish.
You might learn something now.
Josh,
you know?
I'll just start messaging you like outside. Yeah.
That's not very professional, guys, is it?
We'll
It's not very professional, is it?
What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. 11,000 on fucking TikTok, because I've got a dog.
It's not 11,000, it's nearly 13,000 now, so...
Nobody gives a shit, nobody cares.
The point you
does
not make the point you wanted to.
Anyway,
proceed with boring all of us with your Warhammer or whatever it was.
Okay.
You got it right first time.
Yeah. So... this is going to be a bit of a Warhammer chat, just because there's been some news recently, and myself and Mark, and to an extent, Pete, do you do Warhammer type stuff as well? You understand it. You understand it at least.
Oh yeah, I grew up back in the 80s playing it. I haven't played it for few decades.
Yeah.
So you're Warhammer adjacent rather than Warhammer involved.
Exactly. Yeah, I played the video games, some of the board games, but I don't do the miniature games right now. Mostly because I don't have a second mortgage.
Yeah, and they've just upped the prices as well. They've just upped their prices too.
I remember back in the 80s when they changed the entire design of their Space Marines from the third edition. And I just thought, great, you've just wiped out my entire army. I can't field it now. You colossal dicks.
Yeah, the thing is, they're doing that at the minute now. They've got.
I know.
But at least they're not doing it all in one go. At least they're giving us a couple of years to acclimatise.
Yeah, it's just I think they keep on doing this whole thing. It's like, no, we're not getting rid of anything. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. And they're bringing out bigger versions of every single model and calling them different names. So they're intercessors instead of tactical marines, and they're bringing out close combat ones and stuff. And it's just like, okay, they're bringing true scale marines out, which is good, but it does mean that everybody's army will soon be obsolete because they'll be needing these things, but. They're not going to do it for this edition coming out. They'll do it, I think, for the next edition and after that, when everybody's sort of, slowly being, weaned on to the new plastic crack that is the new models.
They've stopped writing off models as such. They just make them Legends models now, don't they?
Yeah.
So you can't use them in tournaments, but you can use them in friendly games if you don't mind your money across from you just laughing.
It's annoying because a lot of the stuff that I used in tournaments that I play in are Legends now, so I can't use it. So I had this really good list that was doing quite well, and I can't use, like, Wolfguard on bikes, can't use them anymore because they're Legends. Can't use Rune Priests on bikes as well. Anything on bikes, basically, because obviously there's the new bikes coming out soon, so they don't.
They are very nice bikes. Yeah. They are very cool bikes.
So so basically, and we'll try and not talk about it too much because I appreciate not everybody's into Warhammer and stuff, but recently they've announced that they're bringing out the 9th edition of the Warhammer book. Yeah,
yesterday afternoon.
They had a really, really, really good. They had a really good, like a video thing.
Cinematic.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. And Lucifer, you're not being ignored, my friend. We're just trying to talk about something else, and get on to things. So don't chill your beans, my friend.
Because he's trying to stop that conversation.
we'll get back to you.
We're with you, Lucifer, on this. This sucks.
Yes. Well, not normally we would say we're with you, Lucifer, but times will change.
Yes. So if we don't get,
I've been with Lucifer for quite a long time.
Anybody who, if you're putting messages on the board or on Facebook, on Twitch, anywhere, and we don't get back to you straight away, it's because we're mid conversation, and it's kind of hard to sort of dip in and out to conversation. So we will try to get to all comments we can as soon as we can. But yeah, so 9th edition is out. New cinematic is there. I had some people, heard people moaning about it. I thought it was really good for what it was. I thought it was really good cinematic. You can see it in the.
It's the same old problem. People who want to look for problems will find them. I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, that's
they're just
generally sort of any geek sort of fandom. You've got somebody who is going to moan about something and cause an issue about something.
Oh, God, there's still someone out there complaining that they have to paint their Dark Angels green instead of black. Let's be honest, that's been 20 years.
You've got all the competitive group and stuff. You're kicking off now because their medalists are currently going to get wiped out because they're changing all the rules. And I was like, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, man. That's it. I've been running Space Wolves since the 1980s. So so it's just that's just the way it is.
They should be happy because they brought up the guy that runs Adepticon, but actually the head of their new competitive play team.
It's not. Is it Adepticon or was it Nova? Was it Nova?
I can't remember.
I think it was Nova, possibly.
It might be Nova because he's been on the playtesting team for a bit. But surely they should be happy now. They have one of them on the inside.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Well, that's the thing is now what they've kind of done is they've realised that certain rules, and from what the preview they've talked about, certain rules are a bit problematic, as in the game when you're playing on the tabletop, you can tie up a tank with a bunch of sort of infantry, and it can't do anything. So
Yeah.
you think about it, you got a tank, and you literally get touched by an infantryman, and it can't do anything.
Stops.
It has to fall back, and then it can't shoot, and blah 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 blah. And they thought, okay, that is kind of ridiculous. So they're changing that rule. They're also changing the fact that a game on the board, there were flyers, so things, they'd have stands and there'd be, planes effectively, but you couldn't move onto the base, or you couldn't move near the base, even though technically they're in the air. So there was just there was a lot of issues with that as well, because people were using flyers to block off the entire board. Unfortunately, the competitive scene, you kind of understand, there's two ways to think. They're competitive, they're going to use all the rules to their advantage, but a lot of them do stupid things, and you're just like, what is this? Why are you doing this? I had it done to me, where I had a custodies list, and it was, it wasn't doing too badly, and this guy had like a million flyers, and he'd circled them around, and I was like, right, so I can't charge in there. And he's like, nope, you can't. No. You can't be near the bases. And it's like, but they're in the air. I should be able to go under them. And it wasn't, so it was annoying. So they're changing that. They're changing terrain rules, apparently.
They're changing lists and command points, aren't they? Now?
Yes, so you're going to get more command points in.
Well, I think it sounds like you're going to start with a pool of command points, and instead of gaining them for formations, you can choose whether to sacrifice them against the kind of formations in your list.
Yeah. So you can buy, they were saying, so you can buy, instead of starting with a soup list, so in a soup list is for you to generate command points in the old version, you'd have to have specific sort of units and specific armies that were better at it than others, so people would just tie them in so they could have these command points. Now they're they flipped it on its head, so if you have a mono codex, which is basically rules for one faction, you get more CP, which are command points, and then you can choose to buy extra detachments and things with those command points, which I think is a really good way to go. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. There's been some really cool models. Necrons are getting Necrons are effectively like Terminator from Judgment Day type models. They're basically space skeletons in adamantine sort of armor type stuff. Are getting loads
with disintegrated
cannons. Medals. Yeah, lots and lots of models. And have you seen the Silent King model and stuff? And there's a new Transcendent Titan model, I think, and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that.
And a new Primaris Lieutenant as well.
Yeah, but you've also got
another Primaris Lieutenant as well.
Well, they brought out new models for a Xenos faction, so they had to sort of bring out models for the Imperium as well, because they feel left out if they don't get new models with every month. So basically you get you're gonna have some new models, one with storm shields, with some close combat guys, and
I want to find out more about the Judicia, because that's kind of looking quite blunt, horrendous, but fun.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. It looks like it could be interesting. I hope they change things up. Now, they did do the whole thing. It's like, we've been doing this for years now, and this time it's perfect. Everything's going to be bang on and stuff. I was like, all right. Yeah, I don't know.
No, really, we mean it this time.
Laura's falling asleep. All right, we're not going to carry on for that much longer.
No, I wouldn't have taken her as a snorer.
I just want to point out that I listen to all your fanboying and fangirling about other random stuff that I have zero interest in, and I take a professional look about it. I show feigned interest. I show feigned interest. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so interested in that thing that I'm not interested in because I'm that sort of guy.
Well, good for you, honey. I'll make you a gold star.
But you did make me a very cool, for those who are watching. It's an Avengers, face mask. Yeah. So.
Although I swear to God, I nearly slapped one of your friends who was like, "Now you just need like an aluminium tinfoil cap," and I was like, "Oh, fuck off."
Yeah, but then he probably thinks the aliens are trying to read his brainwaves. Yeah.
Anti-mask people honestly just shit me.
Yeah, so I wore it down to the shop. It's not
anything to do with like me making them. It's just got to do with the fact that it harms nobody, but there's just like this weird subset of people that have decided that to wear a mask makes you A, pussy, and B, against freedom. And that's the weirdest take. Like, what a hill to die on, and I hope you all die on that hill because you haven't worn a fucking mask.
It's like all those American religious leaders that swore blind you didn't need to worry about coronavirus and they couldn't gather together. And then dropped dead a week and a half later.
There was actually a minister, weren't there, in America who said he believed he was healing people of coronavirus, and he actually died a few days ago of it.
Oh well.
Tragic, terrible.
Yeah.
Not that we as a group are sort of, endorse the death of anybody, but if you're spouting out stuff about and then it happens,
being dumb.
Yeah,
If
it's just silly.
Let's just say actions have consequences, and if your lack of action causes said consequences, there's not a lot of sympathy from other people.
Yeah. Lucifer 66, you're on fire today, my friend. It says you're the professional guy. That's what you're supposed to look. It's not a professional guy. That's it. And America. I don't know what's going on over there, man. There's just the whole third. They've got a lot. But that being said, they had like a big group meeting in like Hyde Park, and they were doing
exactly.
they were trying to do one in Manchester recently. And it's
I was feeling.
What are you doing? I don't understand.
We were being so smug, weren't we? Britons, we were being like, "Oh, fucking Americans! Look, you wouldn't see that shit here." And then, like, fucking 3 days later, it's like protest in Hyde Park against lockdown, and we're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake! You couldn't even let us have that."
And on Friday, there was a load of beaches that obviously had people packing out on them, and there was this great video. There was this great video from Brighton Beach. This guy having a proper rant, going, "Look at these people! Look, none of them social distancing. They're all putting our lives in danger. What do they think they're doing to this country?" He was on the beach with his family, and he was holding a beer amongst all these people, and he's moaning about it being overcrowded on the beach.
Yeah, there's been a few of those stories where they interview someone, and they're like, "I can't believe that I drove 2 hours to get to this bloody beach, and there's all these people here. They're so inconsiderate. What about lockdown?" And you're like, "Oh my god, how can?" Honestly,
it's scary.
Yeah, people are. It's just amazing, man. How some people act. It's just like.
We go back to that line from Men in Black, by Will Smith, when he goes, "A person is smart. People are dumb, stupid." Yeah, and he goes.
So Tommy Lee Jones, and I know, a person is smart. People
are dumb, dangerous animals.
Yeah, panicky.
Well, it's like I once did the 28 Days Later Secret Cinema, and which was fantastic. Cannot recommend enough Secret Cinema if you ever get a chance to do one. And also for those who don't know what it is, it's a company, they pick a movie, they kind of build the world from the movie, you go participate in it at a secret location, and then you watch the movie. So for 28 Days Later, what they had us all do was recreate the movie. So we all laid down in hospital beds and fell asleep, and then we woke up during the zombie apocalypse. So we were chased through these corridors, zombies coming at us and everything. And I tell you what, even though we all knew it was fake, we all paid to be there, people promptly lost their shit. They were promptly pushing people to get to the front of the queue. They were trying to leave people behind to die. It was an incredible view into the human mindset.
Did anyone play 2.8 hours later?
No.
Oh,
that was a live action recreation of 28 Days Later, where you basically, this company, sadly now defunct, would rent out parts of the city and would then kind of, usually an industrial estate, and they would have certain zones that would class as an interactive area, and basically you'd be chased around it.
Yeah,
city, and it was fantastic.
And
why
did
do
you
I
find
learn
the same
about this
thing?
now?
Did you find the same thing, that some people just suddenly, like, their hindbrain, their primitive brain took over, and they're just straight up willing to leave other people to die?
Oh yeah,
like they were pushing beside the elderly, the disabled, the women, the children. There were some of these dudes there, like, y'all can get fucked.
Well, yeah,
I got thrown into a cage.
So you had to pay for, and part in the city where it was taking place would be cordoned off, so random normal people wouldn't kind of wander in and wouldn't chased by a zombie. But yeah, people would just kind of just accidentally nudge people in the way. Oh, sorry, So that you just bumped that zombie and you got infected. Oh dear, what a shame.
And
Yeah,
I never did that, of course.
Funnily enough, the Secret Cinema place takes place in where they filmed part of Age of Ultron. You know, the scene in the movie where the Avengers kind of confront Ultron and he's kind of in a warehousey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, vaguely. Anyway, that's where it takes place. So we're running down those corridors and we're running down steel stairs with and zombies behind.
Oh, we've got everything's gone a bit sort of shifty. Oh no. Connection's lost. Oh no.
Oh, well,
You want to get swifty? No?
No.
All right, never mind. Soldier.
Oh, sorry. We had
Sorry,
a bit.
but
We had a bit of a bit of an issue there with my connection for some reason. I have no idea. It's been playing
Are we
up.
back now?
Yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare recently. My internet. I have no idea what's going on and stuff.
So much for Mr. Professional.
Lockdown, basically, and everyone using the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
God,
Dean,
yeah.
Dean Hill says on Facebook, Happy Geek Pride Day, proper Star Wars Day, Tile Day, and glorious 25th, and my birthday for tomorrow, guys. Happy birthday tomorrow, Dean.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
For tomorrow. It's,
Birthday.
Happy
it's-
birthday, dude.
yeah.
Happy quarantine birthday. I hope you eat something that you like and watch something that you like and you don't have a headache. And that's the best
And
you
you
can
know
hope
where
for
you
at the moment.
And you know where your towel is.
It was Turtles Day yesterday, and I was very happy.
You guys, start off a conversation. I'm going to connect my, I'm going to Ethernet cable my internet connection because it's a bit dodgy. So carry on with yourselves.
Okay.
So,
Anyway,
so
just
coming
to
to
finish up.
so coming to zombie apocalypse. I'm sorry, but if I had my son with me and zombie horde behind me, like Dante, straight in a yeet the children to the zombies. Like, get Dante, you're gonna have to fight him now. Fight him. Fight. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh well.
So you want him to be like Morgan from The Walking Dead, trying to teach your son how to shoot?
No. I'll
Well,
be
obviously that
like
didn't work
Ken.
for because his son got killed, but
I'd rather be like Christopher Titus. You're gonna have to fight him now. Yeah, fight him. Fight. For God's sake. Oh, yeah,
All I'll say is we've got a petrol-powered chainsaw in the garage, along with a wood axe. We're sorted.
I'll tell you what I've got. I live in the
nails.
middle of nowhere and they generally decompose by the time they get to me. Problem solved.
I've got three
Oh, yeah.
swords and I've got a baseball.
Just to stop you there, guys. I think we're having a few issues with the connection still.
You know, this was you. Literally, like 10 minutes ago in the conversation, you jinxed this.
I did.
Do you know
jinx
what?
it.
I
bragged
reckon
about
there is actually no
professional.
Lucifer. He's just been messaging himself. Oh, you're doing such a professional job. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I
Well,
am.
I think we're back on, but it's literally been
We're
been
live.
kicking off, and yeah.
We'll
so,
do it live.
Yeah. So I if there's been any downtime, ladies and gents, I apologize. Hopefully it will sort itself out.
And what you've missed is the new conspiracy theory that Lucifer is in fact Geary, messaging himself, telling him what a professional big boy he is.
Obviously, during this whole, just to take a bit of a swerve, during this whole lockdown, I found myself having a lot of time to play and complete the video games that have been sitting on the shelf, maybe in some cases for like 2 or 3 years. Obviously, of yous that do partake in video games, have you been getting into any titles that you might have got part way into, dropped off, and then gone back into? Obviously not then, because everyone's gone silent.
I've been playing XCOM Chimera Squad.
Ooh.
That's just been released, and that's really good. And it's so good, I'm going to download and get XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, because I've not played that yet, and I love the XCOM 2. I mean, I go way back to the 80s when I played Laser Squad.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yes, I remember that, and I loved that game then, and I'm so pleased that they brought back XCOM, UFO, whatever you want to call it, and it's just as good as I wanted to be. Streamlined, yeah, true, but yeah, just as good, just as fun.
I've not been playing
And
many. I've not been playing many games recently. One, because I'm still trying to work on my D&D sort of stuff, and two, I've been sort of hammering this sort of a YouTube channel called Epic History, and I've been going on I watched the thing about Alexander the Great today, and one thing that sort of ties in with the whole. People being idiots thing. I was watching a bit about Napoleon's retreat from Moscow in 1813. And so basically, he invaded Russia in 1812 with 600,000 guys, and then realized, holy shit, it's really cold. It's really warm in the summer, and it's really cold in the winter. And basically had to retreat back. And it got to a point, and I can't remember exactly whereabouts it was, but there was this bridge, and all the stragglers went, well, it's really warm here because we've got fires and stuff, and we want to stay here. And they're like, but the Russian army's behind you. It's like, yeah, we'll just stay here. It's fine. And then realize, and then the other army, just the French army, just went, all right, fine. And they sort of buggered off. And all the camp followers and, the people who just didn't want to sort of do anything realized that suddenly, the Russians were coming, and
they were undefended.
And then decided that they wanted to run across this bridge, which got blown up, and then they were all like, they either got killed or captured, and it was just like, well, there you go. And that's just what people are like now. It's like they don't give a shit until something happens. So what happens? Everybody's all
until
like,
it affects them.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's my freedom, man. I could do whatever the hell I want, and then suddenly something happens, like one of them dies or something affects them, and they go, oh my god, why isn't anybody doing this? And it's just like, because people like you exist, I won't do anything because you just don't. Yeah.
Do you know, that makes me think of one of my favorite historical facts. I don't remember which World War this was, either one or two, but they recruited a regiment of artists, and what the artists did is they actually made inflatable tanks.
Oh,
and
World War
and they used World War II. They used those tanks to fuck with the Germans.
Yeah.
So the Germans would see all these tanks at a distance and think, oh, we're fucked. And in one case, 5,000 of them actually surrendered to this army corps and had to be marched past their inflatable their inflatable machines. And I love that because it just goes to prove that someone out at history, there's always going to be someone who goes, I have a really stupid idea.
Yeah,
and it works.
They basically what they did was in Kent, they knew that sort of the invasion of Europe and the invasion of France was coming up, and obviously they had all the different pardon me, my door's just being knocked. I think my girlfriend wants in. Talk amongst yourselves.
We are professional.
If I pick up my head,
you're looking at World War stuff. I guarantee you, Disney went. Do you know what a great idea? Right, World War stuff. Right, and Disney in the room now. There. Right, hear me out. Ready? Bed knobs and broomsticks. What? And somebody went, how the fuck are we gonna sort that out? I don't know, but if we get Jessica Fletcher involved, we're gonna make a fortune in this. And they thought, you know what? Bed knobs and broomsticks. World War II. A witch. They're coming to get us. Fucking make a mint. Now we're talking about it so many years later, but has Gary actually gone to let his girlfriend?
I'm here. I'm here now.
I'm
back. I'm sorry. It's just like she
didn't.
She's lost my spare key, so she had to knock on to get back in again. So I'm not sure.
Oh well,
what we don't know is that she's actually been knocking for the last half hour and he just left her outside.
Yeah. Anyway, my historical story. So basically, the invasion of France. And they had like Bletchley Park and things, so they were sending like fake information. They also had lots of spies and stuff giving fake information around to say, this is going to happen in the Pas de Calais, and basically for them to believe that the attack was going to happen in the Pas de Calais, they basically created an army in Kent opposite the Pas de Calais, and they put General Patton, who was quite a well-known sort of American general at the time. It's like, well, General Patton's in charge of that army, therefore it must be coming from the Pas de Calais. Sorry, it must be going on the Pas de Calais. And his army was literally all fake. There was all sort of inflatable tanks, paper airplanes, and just signalmen and stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, that's a movie I'd love to see made. Like just like they bring out the trailer like it's going to be this year's Oscar bait, like 1914, Harry Styles. Everything is slow motion. There's crying and tears, and then we actually get to the film, and it's just the crying and the tears is because they're crying because they've got like hot glue on their hands trying to put together their fake planes, and the tears are my fake is better. No, my fake. Like I just want it to be a complete piss up.
Has anyone seen Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah,
that film.
I watched that the other day.
That film is so good. And when it first was advertised, I had to really convince my partner to go and watch it because she went, I don't want to watch a war film. I went, well, I said, it's technically a war film. I said, but it's a comedy. She went, how can there be a comedy about Hitler? I went, look, see the guy that's playing him? That's Taika Waititi. He's basically one of the funniest people on the planet. I said, there is no way he's doing anything remotely dramatic. And then obviously there was some dramatic moments, but obviously I don't want to spoil it here. But that film I thought was bloody fantastic. It was just so funny, so heartfelt, and just, Taika Waititi, a New Zealand native playing Hitler. Who would have said that was a good idea?
He's Jewish, and
he's Jewish as well. Yes.
Yeah, and in one of his interviews, they said, "What kind of research did you do to play Hitler?" And he said, "Nothing, because fuck that guy."
No, but it was, I think it was his sister that had actually recommended the original book to him, and he read it. He was like, "Yeah, I like this. I'm going to make a few changes to it." It was like, "Yeah. So what are you going to do?" "Oh, I'm gonna make this gonna make myself an imaginary Hitler." What?
Yeah, it was so good, man. It's so good.
Can you imagine when he went to the studio with that, and they go, "Right, Taika, be honest, mate. You've just given us a really big hit with Thor Ragnarok. What's your next film?" "Right, I'm going to play Hitler." "I'm sorry, mate. Did I hear that right?"
But don't forget though, you're talking about a film that takes the piss out of Hitler and Nazis, but you're failing to remember the film or the stage show. The producers. Anytime you want anytime it's springtime for Hitler, and you've got Will Ferrell goes, "Oh, I must want to tell my birds," goes up to a pigeon and goes, "Hello, Adolf," and the pigeon actually salutes him at the same. Utter brilliance.
I'm not a big fan of remakes, but the 2004 version of Producers, that is such a good film, actually. I think that was
so good,
so perfectly made, and I really annoyed that never actually won the Oscar, because I think that was a brilliant movie.
But it bombed at the cinema, though. That's the problem.
Oh, it did. But I remember watching, because I didn't watch it in cinema. I watched it
which
a year or so later.
Show, people suck sometimes, because sometimes an absolute gem like that comes along, and we as a people just fuck it, and we don't get a sequel. Looking at you, man from Uncle.
This year is the 10th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I remember seeing that the first day in the cinema, and I loved that film.
I can't stand Michael Cera.
Just before I forget, because we're on the subject of Hitler's crocodile died today. That's an actual headline I read. Hitler's pet crocodile died. 2020 is so fucking weird. I did not have that on my bingo card. Hitler had a crocodile. I want to start with that. And then it's still been alive this whole time, and then it's only just died. And does it have a plaque saying Hitler's crocodile? Did he get a name? Did it have its own? I have so many questions.
Laura Hill says on Facebook, "My husband's grandfather was part of the team that inflated the fake tanks in Italy." Oh, that's really interesting.
Awesome!
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That is absolutely cool.
I gotta love stuff like that. I like my family. My family sort of my grandfather was in World War II, and I think my great grandmother was like her ship got boarded. Her what's it called? Medical ship, hospital ship got boarded by a German crew during World War One and their U-boats, and she's got a photograph. There's an old photograph of the U-boat just before it boards them. But my sort of World War II one is my great grandfather. Who fought in World War I and World War II. He defused a bomb in Malta, and it's basically if you go to Malta and you go to a cathedral called Mosta, which is like this big cathedral. There's a bomb in their sort of like this room, and basically what happened is during World War II, the bomb came crashing through the ceiling during mass and didn't explode. And my grandfather was the guy who defused that bomb, and my great grandfather was the guy who defused that bomb, and it's in Mosta in Malta. So if you ever go there, that bomb right here, great grandfather. Yeah. And we've got Beardy Jim says the comics are great too. Comics in relation to
Pilgrim, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Pilgrim. Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. Mm.
Yeah, because there is a lot of obviously where cinemas and that shut at the moment. Apparently, a lot of cinemas are putting in a plan into place of what's going to be their opening film or films when things do come back. And in America, that's going to be apparently one of the first films that's going to be in cinemas. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah, and in China, they're going to do the Harry Potter film series in cinemas.
Fair enough. Why not?
You know what I'd like to see on the big screen again? Dread.
Oh, Dread was good.
Red. Yeah.
Or the
That
red.
was
4DX.
the slow-mo effect, the slow-mo drug effect in
Yeah.
3D was
That
absolute
the
cinematic
final shot,
masterpiece.
the final shot when spoiler alert for a
Mama.
film that was out 8 years ago, but when Mama, when she's falling down, that slow motion, all of a sudden it's just like bang right on the ground. It's like Jesus, that did make me jump. It's like wow.
That
But
film
that-
in 4DX would be fantastic. That in 4DX
Oh,
would be
Released in
fantastic.
4DX, yeah, that'd be pretty. Yeah, and the thing is, maybe with a lot of these films getting a second life, where obviously they do seem to be looking at films that may not have performed well in the first place, maybe that is one to go on the list. Because I reckon if Dredd got enough interest in a second life, if they did give it another go, maybe we might get that sequel that we all wanted.
The only
Well,
film I want to
yeah.
see go
There's going
forward
to be a TV
now.
series.
Yeah.
There's going to be a sequel TV series, Dread.
Oh yeah, I'd go for that. Mega
There's
Six
one
one
film-
series.
There's one film I want to see go ahead right now, and I know it's probably not going to happen, seeing as Disney now own Fox. Is I want to see Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5.
5.
That is now
remember-
permanently cancelled.
I remember
Yeah.
when
I was
they
spoke-
first announced that, and I
Yeah.
saw the promo artwork, and I was like, my God, I never actually wanted an Alien sequel this badly, but if they can actually pull it off, this would be
There's
brilliant.
talk
I
about
was
other
speaking
films
to-
coming out.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
speaking
but
to
they're going
Michael
to be
Biehn.
Ridley Scott ones, and I don't want Ridley Scott
No.
making any more. He
Yeah.
fucked up enough with Covenant and
Yeah, I was speaking to
Prometheus,
Michael
that's
Bean about the Neil Blomkamp Alien, and he said, "Yeah, I've signed up for it."
why
Yeah,
not?
Michael Bean already signed up playing Hicks, and it's all set to go. And then Ridley Scott came along. Yeah, I've got this a sequel idea, and basically went, "Okay, bye bye, Neil. Hello."
Well, that was the thing, because
And
they
it's-
went with someone who had the track record, and Neil Blomkamp's made some great films, but he hasn't
Yeah.
had blockbuster success like Ridley Scott. So obviously, when Ridley Scott goes up to him and goes, "I've got an idea," they've gone, should we go this very credible Alien 5 one that might actually do us well? No, fuck that. Let's do Ridley Scott's idea. He gave us Prometheus. That went well, didn't it? Jesus.
Yeah.
I'd really like to
Covenant.
see Olivia Munn return as Cyclops.
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 Yeah.
Psylocke.
Just because, I was like, that's not right. Because she did like 6 months of everyday 8-hour training in how to use those swords, and then she got like 20 seconds of CGI in that shit ass film, and she would have
Yeah.
been so good. It's
Wasn't
such a
there-
shame.
wasn't
She
there a
was
thing
supposed to
that
be
was-
in Deadpool.
Wasn't there a
Yeah,
thing
well,
about?
she actually turned down the role in Deadpool to be that character.
Wasn't she?
Oh, wow.
Didn't she get in trouble or something for saying that she did stuff that she didn't do? As in, she said she did a lot of the stunts, where her stunt double did a lot of the stunts.
Yeah,
I imagine it would be hard to know. Like if you did a few and then the stunt double did a few, you wouldn't necessarily know which ones were actually put in the film.
Yeah, I heard something that she got called out on something, saying that I did this, and it was actually her stunt double. So
well, when Infinity War was being shot, Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't available for the first 2 months of filming, so they actually had his stunt double doing most of the parts, and then they recreated some of the shots on the green screen with his either like doing a whole body double or just doing the face double, and that looks actually pretty seamless.
I'm
That's
always
all right,
impressed by Chris Evans, because obviously he has to do 90% of his own stunts because he moves so weirdly. They can't find a stunt guy who moves like him. So any scene where he's running and a lot of them where he's jumping, he has to do himself because he just moves really, really weirdly. In fact,
On
I
your
believe
left.
that whole fight. Yeah, well that fight he does with the French guy in
Matt Rock.
Winter Soldier. Yeah,
Oh,
apparently
yeah.
that's entirely done by him, except for like the crazy like 360 backflip he does in the air. That's the only part that's a stunt double.
Yeah, but then again, the backflip you don't really notice too much, do you? You just see him moving,
Well,
and you just think
he's
it's
going
him.
like he's going so quickly you wouldn't be able to tell.
That's
who it
what I
was
mean. That's what I mean.
regardless.
Or
But-
even better, Avengers Endgame, when you've got Captain America v Captain America. Now that was, I think, shot really well, and that was like such a good use
Oh.
of stunt doubles and CGI, and
My
and
friend
America's
is actually
ass.
my friend's actually a stunt double for Tom Cruise.
oh wow.
which I
Okay.
imagine must be the most useless role ever because the guy is so insistent on doing all of his own stunts.
Imagine getting paid just to be there. It's like, yeah. So, are you doing the jump today? Nah, Tom said he'll do it. What's the worst that can happen? Oh
Yeah.
shit! No, that cancelled the production for 2 months. He broke his ankle.
They
Well,
actually proposed. He proposed to his girlfriend on the set of the last film, but because it was obviously on the set, they had to sign like an NDA, and they couldn't actually tell anyone that the engagement happened until like 4 months after the film came out.
Beardy Jim says on Twitch that was a pair of brothers in Endgame 2. Fun facts, and a quick shout out to Shake Rags, What Up, and X Force film when. An X Force film would be very good. Yes.
Because did anyone watch that? I'm trying to The Gifted. Did anyone watch The Gifted?
I did, but the
I heard
second
good
series
things.
really dropped for me.
Yeah, but some of the characters were really good in it. Like I really enjoyed some of them. I was like, oh, I'd take you, and I'd take you, and I'd take you, and I'd put you in a different series.
Well, when it comes to X-Men, I know who Disney aren't going to be calling to return to direct. And seeing as he was like 90% not there, as a director, he's never there. Apparently,
Singer's never going to be brought
he's
back.
no, it's not just that. On most of the X-Men films he's directed, he's 80% not there ever. He just doesn't turn up. He just kind of like, thanks for the check, and then fucks off, and only appears when needs to, like in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
He
'cause
was never there. He's never
disappeared,
there.
But then what I found bad was they got Dexter Fletcher to finish the film, but he never got a directing credit, and I just thought,
No.
what a cheeky fuck. They should have at least given him co-director.
They had somebody who'd worked on the X-Men films on Fat Man Beyond, and he was telling Mark and Kevin, in fact, yeah, it's a great idea, it's all a happy family. That's when the director actually decides to turn up and actually do his job, and Kevin just went, what? He goes, he's never there. He was literally never there. And Kevin went, so let me get this straight. A director who's supposed to be there going action, making sure everything's there, he's not there. He goes, no, the second director sorted everything else out. And he's like, what the fuck? So a guy who's supposed to be, Brian, directed by Brian Singer, kind of. Well, some of the time. Usually
When he's
80%.
Talking
Directed by Brian Singer's mate.
Yeah. Talking about directors, there's a certain director's cut of a film.
No.
It's funny because we were talking about it last week, and it was almost
know.
like, maybe it's not going to happen.
And I was like, give up. Give up. It's never going to happen.
A 30 million extra director's cut. Let's put that out there. It's not like it's already been shot and it's ready. Warner Brothers basically went, so what's it going to cost us to get this done? And actually, Zack Snyder just went, I don't know, let's say 30 million, done. And he's kind of going, holy shit, are we actually finally going to see what we were told once again on Fat Man Beyond? We were going to see the Green Lantern. We were going to see Darkseid. We were going to
Darkseid
see.
has been confirmed.
I
The
know.
actor that's playing him has actually said, "Yep, I'm playing Darkseid." Just so you know.
Who did they
So wait a
get that
minute.
was Green Lantern?
This director's cut, is this stuff that was already filmed and they're just adding it in, or have they filmed extra
no.
stuff?
No,
Filming
this was
Everything with the main
storyboards.
cast, everything with the main cast is still as it is. They're not reshooting anything like that. But the rumor is they're going to shoot a couple of scenes for Darkseid stuff because obviously he never actually appeared in the film, so they can slot that in. And apparently they're going to cast an actor for Green Lantern that I've heard.
No, right. The ending of the film where it's all Steppenwolf and that huge fight, that's nothing to do with Zack Snyder. That's all, I think it's Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
All that is not going to appear. If you think about it, this is purely the Richard Donner cut being put into a film. Zack has now got to go back to his storyboards, to original screenplays that he had. Some of it was filmed. The instance where Alfred goes, and let's hope this in time. He was never talking to Superman. He was always talking to Green Lantern. That's been quoted as well.
Apparently, there's meant to be Martian
Manhunter does. He does make it.
Shake Rag said that on Twitch.
Yep. There's storyboards, loads and loads of storyboards that are in Zack's, like a little closet. They've now got to take this 30 million, cast the Green Lantern, and then film it all. This is why we're not seeing this until 2021 on HBO Max, because they've now got to film it and, well, basically wait until social distancing and all this shit is over with till they can actually start filming. But there's so much CG.
I am totally
I
in.
shit over the original so much that I think I owe it, that I have to see it, just so I'm not a hypocrite. But I'm not excited.
And there was a story I was hearing as well that it might not necessarily be a film. They might actually make it into technically a mini-series, which...
No, it's going to be a film.
That's what I was going to say. It had to be a film in my eyes, but I was seeing this story. I was like, no, a 3-hour film that actually, you know, makes sense out of this garbage fire, which we did get, you know.
Stop reading. We got this covered.
Oh, no, I wasn't reading that. I was reading comicbook.com.
Okay. Oh, stop reading comicbook.com. But then after this whole Snyder cut thing, who decides to prop his little furry head out of his burrow? Ayer. No, fuck David Ayer. It popped his head up his little burrow little hole, and Paul Feig went, I've got a 3-hour cut of Ghostbusters, and everyone went, go away, Paul. Nobody cares.
Can I just say, before Christmas, I bought the box set of Ghostbusters films, 1 and 2, but it also had the 2016 one. And no lie, when I got into the car, I've opened it up, and partner's going, "What are you doing?" I went, "See this one?" I just threw it, and I just went, "No, I don't want that."
Good boy.
She went, "You've just wasted money." I went, No. I said, "I paid £5 for the 2 films I wanted. That was basically an unwanted extra." And see that
Sony,
1 and 2 is
Sony
its own
money.
case. Yeah, 1 and 2
Sony
is its own
wasted
case.
a lot.
Yeah. And I was like, "Yep." I said, "No, I don't need that one." She went, "Well, you might as well give away that film." I went, "No, because no fucker will want it." You know,
Nobody wanted it.
I just chucked it. I was like, "No, that's it. It's gone."
And before anybody decides to pop up in the comments, we're not misogynists. No, we're not against girl Ghostbusters. We're against what Paul Feig did to the Ghostbusters
film. It is just a horrible movie. There was no need for this. They didn't even try to even make it, maybe this could be the next evolution, like what Afterlife is technically going to be. No, they decided, no, we're going to shit on that. We're going to give you this, and you better like it because, that's what we're doing. And it's like, no.
And if you didn't like it, you were a misogynist. You were a sexist. You were this, you were that. And I just thought, how could you, if you're into a fandom and like you guys with your Warhammer 40k going on for 20 fucking minutes, you'll hear this now, like your little finger thing. If you're in the Ghost Corps, and if you're in the fandom, then
Matt accidentally pushes the eject button.
I just thought that was his TikTok tally going up even further then, because he posted another dog one. You're heavy into a fandom. You've kind of grown up with this. You have a proton pack. You've had the toys. You've got the posters. You've read the books. You've whatever. And all of a sudden, this guy comes along and says, I was handed a script by the late Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd. I looked through it. It was a great script. And I threw it in the bin because I didn't know how to make a film like that. A direct quote from Paul Feig, by the way. And then he went, so I'm going to do it my way, like bridesmaids with proton packs. And I think there was an astounding groan for every single Ghost Corps fan out there going, what is this? And now you're talking about a trailer. When it hit, I had so much pumped up. I thought, come on, this is please be good. Please be good, because don't get me wrong, Kristen Wiig, the wonderful women that did take part in it, they're all great actresses. They're all great comedians. I mean, Leslie Jones herself was fantastic. And then the trailer hit, and I just kind of like put my face in my palm and thought, what is this? What is this? And you could hear the groan from all over the world, thinking, this is what we've got. And I know Dan Aykroyd went on, oh yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And as soon as the film came out, Dan Aykroyd was like, yeah, we made a mistake.
I'll just say, remember, James Cameron said that he thought Terminator Genesis was the conclusive third part to the series, what he thought was the natural progression. And when he came out, he went, I got paid to say that.
Yeah.
Yes. No fucking way did you think that was actually a good movie. Jesus Christ.
Well, as I said with Dark Fate, everybody was going like, oh, James Cameron's involved with Dark Fate. No, he never turned up once on the fucking set.
No.
But Dark Fate was decent. I enjoyed
the most recent one. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it.
And come on, that's the only thing that me and Laura agree on. So don't take that away.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a really fun take, and I was really impressed by the acting from a lot of the actors, and the CGI was phenomenal. Like I just can't get it. The young versions of them is just unreal.
The Rev 9 was great design, I've got to say. Having 2 in 1, holy crap.
Yeah, and that was unnerving. Like I liked it, and I liked that you could see that when he split, the reason he doesn't normally split is because it basically took his skeleton out, so he could be cut through. He was just like gooey, essentially. So when they were together, he was stronger, but there was an appeal to them being apart. And I was like, oh, that's so much more interesting than just doing the same thing over and over again. But it still brings you the old terror of the original Terminators mixed with the terror of something that constantly heals.
And Linda Hamilton is still absolutely fantastic.
Can get it. She get it.
She says motherfucker better than Samuel L. Jackson, better than anyone else. And just watching it with I was with one of my mates and smoking at the time, and every time she goes, I'm gonna kill this mother, I was thinking, can anybody else say that like caviar? Because nobody else can.
And one of my favorite parts of the film was just the moment where she's ranting, going like, "Oh, we're gonna, they're gonna kill this girl because she's the mother of the next savior," and you can see how that's really worn on her. And then it turns out, no, she's not the mother of the next savior. This is the next savior. And I really enjoyed that because it just as a woman, it was just kind of nice to be like, we're always the mother of the
I think that
hero.
did win me over when I was watching it because I was enjoying it, and then when they was going, it's just another this is just another parent of the savior, I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then when it actually went, yes, actually this is who is supposed to be protectors, I was like, oh damn, you actually did subvert my expectation.
Yeah, and
well done.
They built it slowly throughout the film by showing this girl. She was naturally someone who takes care of people. You could see the way she took care of her brother, the way she took care of her father, the way that she'd go and do battle just in her own job. Just the way normal people fight back. And then you can see during the movie as when she's faced with these awful things, how she grows stronger and stronger. You can see how she would naturally end up the kind of role in the end, whereas I always kind of struggled with John Connor because you kind of just saw him as a dickhead kid, and then you never really saw a progression to what makes him so special as an adult. And I think that was really interesting is I was reading an article saying that from someone who hated the movie, saying that the reason they hate the film is because it says that anyone could be the savior. Like if John Connor dies, who cares? There'll be someone else, and they think that ruined it. I think that's a great message.
Yeah,
there isn't just one person who's out there to save us all. We've all got the capacity, and that I think that was a really positive message.
It's the Spider-Man pretext. Anybody can wear the mask, which is a great pass on.
I think that whinge actually came from the actor who played young John Connor. He was like,
Edward Furlong.
Well, I've been replaced. Yeah, fuck off, mate. Have you had an acting job since you were 12?
He's been high on coke for 20 years.
When they announced Dark Fate,
he was in
American History X,
which he was good in. He was really good in that. He was another one like what's it called? I'm trying to think. It's something about hackers or something like that.
He's in Green Hornet as well as a crack dealer. Ironically.
What was it when the
what
okay, it's gone completely out of my head now. When this film before this film came out, they were talking about the casting, and when they first said, Linda Hamilton's coming back, Arnold Schwarzenegger's come back, the first thing they went was, there's no Edward Furlong, so John Connor must be dead, and they went, well, we've still got some more casting stuff to talk about, and that was all the things you kept seeing on the message boards. Oh, John Connor's dead, and then it was like on comingsoon.net, what was it, rumor John Connor not to appear in the next. It's like, okay, it's not all about John fucking Connor. He wasn't even in the first Terminator film, so come on, have a break.
He didn't save the last couple of shitters either, did he?
No,
but then that one where he turned into a Skynet Terminator.
Yeah, Genesis.
Was that Genesis?
We try not to mention.
We don't. That never happened.
But then when this one came up, and then I think it was Tim Miller in an interview, he said, no, Edward Furlong is involved in the movie. He didn't say he starred in the film. He said, he's involved in the film. What did they do? They got him, obviously, to map his likeness. And apparently he, I don't know how true this is, but Edward Furlong apparently was on the set for one day. Because they said, yeah, when it was the scene at the beginning of the movie, They went, yeah, we want you to tell us what would John Connor be doing if he was on this beach and he was trying to chat these women up at a bar? What would he do? What would he say? And then that was like, here you go, mate. Here's your money. Fuck off now. We've got a film to make. That was almost the feeling I was getting from that. I was like, yeah, would you really do that? But then I thought, yeah, actually, Edward Furlong, you want to protect the film. But then otherwise, what would have been the other way? Edward Furlong could have been a John Connor that did survive, but maybe he might be a crackhead, you know? That could have been interesting.
John Connor is actually now just an accountant.
Yeah.
Dark Fate is basically the one film where they thought, right, we're going to push this. I'm really going to push it. This is the end of it all. And they tried to do the hashtag for John. And then Disney Plus dropped The Mandalorian. And then everything was hashtag this is the way, which completely blanketed Dark Fate completely. But if there was ever a director's cut of Terminator Dark Fate, I would be open to see that if they wanted to change anything.
Shane Conway says
across the board.
Sorry, Shane Conway says on Facebook, I like all Terminators for what they are. Terminators.
We're not here for Terminator body positivity. Genesis sucked, and you know it.
I reckon
I am willing to die.
I reckon he still thinks it's 1992. We haven't had any other Terminator films. That's what.
I'd go with that.
But if you look at a lot of films that are scheduled to come out, we've got a remake of Dune coming out as well, and that's actually going to be a 2-parter.
Oh my god, how good does that look? Like,
and the thing is,
I just don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, but the thing is, I remember reading the book. I was about 11 or 12. I got given it as a Christmas present, and I'd never seen the film. And I got given the book, and I remember because you know what, my attention span used to be so bad. I used to be like, I'll go back to it now and again. So I think I spent about a good part of nearly a year reading that book. And do you know what? I actually loved it, and I ended up reading it again about 2 years later. And it's just such a good story. And I remember watching the film. I was like, Jesus, this is bad. This is
the costume design on the new film looks incredible. Oscar Isaac looks great. And when I say the costume design looks fantastic, it both looks fantastic, but from a costume design point of view, it's also hilariously stupid. Like there's a pair of gloves I think Oscar Isaac is wearing, and it's got a pair of knuckle dusters across the knuckles, and then the same knuckle dusters across his wrist, and then up further as well. I love design like that because it just screams frustrated designer needed to make this look more of a thing from a director who was like, I don't know, just make it like, I don't know, more. And so they just started fucking throwing things at it.
Copy and paste.
Like, because I've made costumes from the 100, and I've spoken to the costume designers from and it's amazing the shit. They will just glue anything. They will just grab something and then just keep gluing random shit to it. Like the gloves I have for Octavia have this thing called glow mesh on it, which you might recognize from every 90s Spice Girls video clip, and yet is now the look to Apocalypse. It's just, I love costume design, things like that. Just it is the kit bashing of costume design every Apocalypse film. What stupid shit will they glue to it?
We've got a few more messages. They need to make a RoboCop and Terminator film. The game was awesome, so was on the comics and stuff. So yes, that would be good. Daniel, who's Shake Rags on Twitch, said my issue with Terminator Genesis, the trailer just gave away all the plot points. Whoever edited that was not supervised. Also, the plot in general, it was okay, and I liked it for a summer film, but yeah, worst of the series. Sorry, Laura Hill says, I imagine John Connor sitting on the storm drain getting high on monkey tranquilizers that he stole from a veterinarian.
It's what he deserves.
Do you know what? This is the third podcast in a row where we've talked about Terminator.
Well, I think the problem is Jon Jo brought it up, and I was like, that sounds like shit, and I was bored. So then I watched it, so I brought it up the next episode. Like, that was fucking awesome.
Joe, actually, I think we should do this in an opposite way, because as I recommended a film, Laura watched it, and she actually said she enjoyed it. I reckon Laura should recommend a film that she likes that many people probably don't really like, and then I'll watch it, see if I like it.
I don't know. Like, I've watched a lot of stuff, so a lot of people have seen it. I don't really watch
I rewatched this horror film called The Loved Ones. I think it was from 2009, 2010. It's a very, very good.
You won't get me to watch that because I do
Comedy.
not watch horror.
It's
Did you
comedy.
ever watch Man from Uncle?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I actually
Oh.
enjoyed that. I actually
It
enjoyed
was
it.
so
Really
good. I'm
enjoyed
still
it.
so angry to this day that it did so poorly at the box. Like
It's
at the cinema,
because
it was
it's because
so
the promotion for it was really bad,
good. It was.
and they literally buried it under a lot of the other blockbusters of that year, and it just
Yeah.
people forgot
Have
it
you
was that.
seen? Have you seen Mr. Right with Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick?
Oh, I
Love
love
that film.
No, I
discovered
haven't,
it for the
actually.
first time
There you
last
go.
year.
Brilliant
There we go,
film.
Mr.
Yeah.
Right.
There you
Okay.
go. That's
Oh,
what you're
dear,
gonna go watch.
it's-
Sam Rockwell in that film is
And-
unreal.
and,
Anson
you know,
Mount is in it.
I
Michael
cool
Eklund's
Sansa
in it.
Mance on it. Yeah, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
It's on Netflix as well.
Perfect.
I think
Because
it's on Prime. and
It is
Netflix
the-
as well.
It is the perfect romance film because it's not like you don't gag on it. And Sam Rockwell's Mr. Right is just
But the
so
thing is,
good.
I will have to say Sam Rockwell is one of my favourite actors.
Yep.
If you look at like Iron Man 2, Jojo Rabbit, even.
Yeah.
The
Well, you'll love him in this. Trust me,
Moon-
Oh,
Mr.
God,
Right.
yeah.
Moon
It's
is
one of
bloody
my
awesome.
it's one of my go-to films. Like if I'm ever like I just need something to watch in the background that'll make me happy. Mr.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like I say, Moon as well with Sam Rockwell is just such a great movie. Kind of get a little bit put off because it has got a little bit of Kevin Spacey. But apart from that, I can watch that movie and I can still really enjoy it for what is actually looks like such a grand movie. Apparently, was only made for about £3 million. So, yeah.
Okay.
I enjoyed talking to Michael Eklund about his time on Mr. Right. I said, so what's Anna Kendrick like? And he's like, I have no idea. She doesn't talk to anyone. I was like, fair
Wow.
enough. And who's that guy who's in it as well? Timothy Roth. Apparently,
Yeah.
Apparently, he's aggressively professional. Like just like he doesn't go out for drinks with people. He goes back to his trailer and reads his lines.
Wow.
Right, okay.
But honestly, I can see that about him. Does he look anything other than just like the guy who's just not fun? He's not fun to hang with. He's fun to like bust someone's knees with, but he's not fun to hang with. But again, amazing performance from him in the film. Honestly, so many good actors in that film.
Definitely. I think I caught it one afternoon. I was doing something else. And I put something on in the background, and I didn't get anything done. I just wet myself laughing for like an hour and a half,
So good.
pretty much. And then I watched it again the next 2 days in a row, and got as buck all done those days either.
And all of the fight scenes, like specifically that the opening one that Tim
Oh,
Roth's character is like directing.
The
And it's-
wedding.
Yeah, the wedding, and he's just like everyone else is like, I'm off to go kill this guy, and he's like, right, you're all gonna die.
Yep.
Fuck this, I'm just gonna stay behind and watch you die. I was just like, oh, that's got big me energy right there. Just fuck it. Yeah, excellent film. If no one else other than Jon Jo hasn't seen it, we definitely recommend it.
I will
favorite.
I will give it a watch. Because I've been going through a lot of my films that have been on the every time I go on Amazon there's this list at the top. It goes these are the films you bookmarked. It's like yep. I don't remember putting that one. Yep. That's what my partner put down. That's what my partner put down. No fucking way am I watching that one. It's like Jesus Christ, and that's the thing as well, because I find it really hard if we're watching a film together, because she will not watch anything remotely sci-fi. She really, as we've mentioned before about her lack of appreciation for Star Wars, and in fact actually made someone behind us cry because of how much she said she hated Rogue One. And funny enough, it was Geary that was sitting behind us that she made cry. No. But that was still one of the best times, and because I didn't mind the film. I don't rate it that highly, but I appreciated it for what it was. But she went on this full 10-minute rant about how bad the film was and why she didn't like it, and the guy behind me just looked like he was going to go and hang himself. It was just so bad.
I can understand. No, I can't understand why people didn't like it, but I just sort of like I don't think it was a bad film, even in general sort of.
It is a great film.
Yeah,
it's a war movie in the Star Wars universe.
That's it.
Anything Alan
That's it.
Tudyk is in,
It's a
I
war
will
movie.
give credit to.
It's a war movie in Star Wars.
It's a good war movie. It's a good war movie. I don't really have anything against the film. I just don't find it overly special. I can sit down and I can enjoy it, but it was just her review of it. And I've said this before. I just want to record some of her reactions to these movies, because what she comes out with is brilliant. There's just some great
whatever you
material
do.
there. but she keeps going, no, I'm not. No, you're not putting me on camera. You're not putting me on anything online. And I just went, come on. I said, this is the kind of thing that would make that, you know, this would be what get people watching, because some of the views she comes out with when we watch some of these movies, you know, you couldn't script it. You just could not make it up. And I was just, it's just.
That being said, from the bottom of my heart, if either of you starts a YouTube channel where you react to stuff, I will find where you live. I will hunt you down, and I will bitch slap you.
No, not react.
No
Review.
one gives a shit about those videos.
Not reacting. No, reviewing. It's always reviewing, not reacting.
And
I just don't get the appeal of those videos. Like, I get maybe like the first one or two when it came out, but then afterwards it's just every dickhead with a camera just showing exaggerated expressions to stuff.
And it is. It's always like, oh my god, this is so interesting. Oh, I'm so surprised about this video. Come on, man. It's like
Seriously?
it's like on TikTok and stuff. They get these super fake sort of videos and things. It's like, come on, man. We know when you're over exaggerating things or you're faking things.
Let's be honest, when we're all watching a trailer, doesn't matter how good we are, you watch it on your phones, first thing comes out, you're pretty much dead inside. Like, you might feel happy watching it, but your face does nothing. You don't have to perform for anyone. You just sat there like, cool. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
And like, that's as deep as it goes. Speaking of trailers, did anyone see the trailer for Old Guard with Charlize Theron?
No.
Oh,
yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yes, based off a comic book, a band of immortal assassins.
Yep, and it was a crops up.
I love Charlize Theron as an action hero. She was so good in Atomic Blonde.
Oh, that was an awesome film. That trailer came out like maybe I want to say 3 days ago. Check it out. It looks pretty good.
It was over. I think it was just before the weekend, and also as well a show that I'm looking forward to coming back, the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Because they showed this little fun trailer, which is the cast in, like, you know, in quarantine, in isolation, but they're all doing their little dance like from the first series, and so it was quite heartwarming. And then they go, yeah, season 2 is on. I was like, yay! It's at the end of July.
The weird thing about that is though, my favorite from the Umbrella Academy is it 5, the kid?
Oh
yeah. He's my favorite. Like, I would die for him. He's great. But so they've got him in this second trailer as well, when he wasn't in the original one. That's fine, whatever. All of the rest of them dressed normally. For some reason, this kid is dressed like Fabio in this trailer. It's weird. He's got like a button-down, opened white shirt. And I'm like, what are you, 12?
Yeah.
Why are you dressing like this? It's weird. His hair's slicked back. He's trying to dance sexy. And it makes me feel very uncomfortable.
But the thing is obviously all these guys, they've just filmed themselves. You know, they've just put the camera up in the house and they've just gone, yeah, let's just do a bit of dance move. And maybe he just thought, Joe, I'm gonna
be sexy.
I'm gonna dress it up a bit. You know, I'm going to you know, bring out the. I'm not going to say it, you know, but maybe he just wanted to do something fun. You know, maybe he just thought, you know, let's have a bit of a laugh with this trailer. And it was nice because
weirdly sexy as a child. Nah,
not that side. I'm not saying he's weirdly sexy at all. But
he's
Joe,
like,
Joe, what I like though, because Tom Hopper, obviously the one that plays Luther, because in the first shot you can't even see his head. He's just like He's just like, it must be like, I'd love it if that was the first cut and he went, oh crap, I haven't got myself in the full picture. Oh, sorry, this will do. It's like, and Joe, what Umbrella Academy, I didn't read the book, but I remember when the first series came out, and it was actually my sister who watched it, and she messaged me, and she went, "You've got to watch this show. It's so good." I went, "Oh, I don't know. I'm not really that interested about it." And I remember watching the first trailer, and it just didn't sell it to me. But she's like, "No, give it a watch. It'll be good." And I think I watched all 8 episodes in about the space of 2 days. I was like, wow. Actually, no, it was pretty good.
I have to say, whenever I think of Umbrella Academy, I immediately associate it with Deadly Class, because the two of them were airing around the same time.
Deadly Class.
And it's such a shame, because Rick Remender, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, he's one of the authors of the actual comic book, which is still running. They're bringing out a new series of the comic book shortly, and so he's been talking about it a lot, and it's just been bringing back for me how good that show was, how visually stunning it was, how true to the comic it was, how well acted it was, and we just didn't get past season 1. It's such a tragedy.
It didn't get the viewing figures. Apparently, its first episode got like a quarter of what they were expecting, and then obviously from that point it just didn't really rise. And that's the problem. As much as a show is really good, 9 out of 10 times if it's not getting the viewers, it'll go. But it was like when Hannibal was a thing. Hannibal didn't ever get the viewers, but it was always critically acclaimed, and it got a second series. The viewing figures didn't carry up, but they just went, Joe, we're going to give it a third. We'll see if we can push it. And that was why they then done a bit of a jump in season 3, and they were trying to get onto the Red Dragon story. And they thought, well, hang on, if we can build it up, if we can get the plot advanced, maybe people will start watching it, then we can get season 4 up and running. But unfortunately, that obviously never happened, unless Netflix are going to give us a season 4.
I'll be honest, I'll be surprised. Like, what I've been doing this past week is watching Doom Patrol. Which I'd never watched when it first came out because I didn't love the Doom Patrol part of Titans, like the episode where they featured them. I thought it was kind of shit. So when they were like, "Oh, we're making a Doom Patrol series," I was like, whatever, pass. But I've seen that it's coming back for season 2 very shortly. I thought, well, I'm bored. And you know what? I'm so baffled by the show because it is actually, it's really fucking good. But everything about it screams not TV friendly. And yet it's getting a second season. But it is really, I'm so impressed by Brendan Fraser's voice acting in it. Absolute legend. Fantastic to see him coming back. The show is so quotable and yet not quotable at all because the things that happen are so weirdly specific. Alan Tudyk, fantastic. Fucking good on him. The concept is so great, but I just look at it and I'm like, none of this is TV friendly. How did this get made and then a second season?
You were so Australian right there. You were just like, good on him. Fantastic.
All right.
Good on
I'll
him.
tell you what. This show's not bad, eh? Tell you what. Crack open a cold one and watch second season.
It's true.
It sounded like you were getting less Australian when you were trying to be more Australian.
I know. My accents are terrible. When Cliff was recently fighting an alligator in the episode, I was like, mate, I'm a wrestler. I was like, please say it, please say it, please say it. Aww.
Shake Rags, aka Daniel Delargy on Twitch, has said, so he's talking about Rogue One here. It also has one of the best Sith sequences in Star Wars cinematography, which is true. That bit where Darth Vader it comes out and literally the lightsaber just comes on. It's just like,
that is a good scene.
Beautiful.
I would really love for them to recut the scene where they've got young Leia with whoever did the special effects for Dark Fate, young Linda Hamilton, just because young Leia in Rogue One was okay, but like it's so much better now, and it's just
or Grand Moff Tarkin when you see him in Rogue One. That was scary.
That didn't sit well.
I remember.
I'd really love if we could just recut Rogue One with those two, just like edited a bit better.
I remember when he came onto the screen, you hear him, it's like, my God, he actually does sound like Peter Cushing. He turned around and went, holy fuck, what is that?
Amazing. So good. I was buzzing off that. I was so good. It also reminds me, the lightsaber reminds me, there's a Vader comic book, I think Marvel, I think it's one of the Marvel ones, and he's basically the Vader comic books, and there's a bit in it, and he's, I can't remember what planet he's on.
Where he's surrounded or something?
Yes, he says, it's like all the rebels are around him, and he's on the planet, and he's just like, drop your weapon, you're surrounded, and then it comes to this like lit thing. It says, all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men, and the next screen is just they're all dead. That's just like that's fucking amazing. That's so good.
I love my favorite thing is just when Vader is just an extra over dramatic bitch, because that's just pure Anakin, pure Padme coming through. It's a little bit Kenobi in there, like
actually
drama.
That is another bit I really like in Rogue One when he goes, don't choke on your aspirations. It's like
he's okay.
He made a joke. But yeah, do you know what I reckon? Because people are saying about Star Wars. Remember years ago, they used to go, no one will ever touch Star Wars. That will never. It's like, my God, Star Wars has been redone so many times over. You think of how much work has been redone on the original trilogy. Imagine 20 or 30 years time, when maybe they start doing reworks on like the new sequel trilogy. Imagine what changes could be brought in.
You think it'll take them 20 years before they try and make another cash grab off that?
Well,
honey,
I reckon they'll do at least another trilogy before they start reworking the sequel trilogy again.
They're going to do the Old Republic stuff, aren't they?
I really want them to have the
I'm so excited for that part.
But I want the Old Republic to be a TV series. I know people saying have it as a film, but I think a TV series would do it justice. You know, be
I
a
agree.
proper epic series. You know, and
Problem
Have
with
Jon
TV
Favreau write it.
Mandalorian.
the problem with the TV series is they always start off well, and then the writers move on to other things, or they start getting bored, and then it fucking ends up like Game of Thrones, where they're just like, I don't care anymore.
I
I got
don't
the
think
money.
I don't think it'd be a big series. I reckon, I don't know,
But
2 series, 10 episodes each series. That'd be perfect.
I tend to find a lot of shows that feel like good endings are about 5 series for me.
Yeah, but I think if they made it limited, so literally if they made it 2 series, around about 20 episodes altogether, I reckon that would tell a great story, keep everyone, it'll keep you all gripped on it. But then I'd always find difficult when you see things like the old Knights of the Old Republic, you think how to actually got to these characters. It comes down to the casting as well, because as much as you might write a good script, you might be able to put a good story out. You still got to get the right people and
the right director, because
especially for a character like Darth Malak as well, because I think that is such a visually striking character, such a great villain. You'd have to find someone who can obviously be intimidating, can be quite scary looking, and because where you only see half of his face as well for the majority of that game. He's got to do a lot of expression with his eyes as well. He's got to really have that proper psych out. He's got to be able to strike fear into you when you can't even see his mouth. You can't actually see half of his actions.
Give it to Carl Urban. So he would have had one film with Dread where he acts with just his mouth, and we'll give him this one where he acts with just his eyes.
I'd actually want Carl Urban to be what's his name? The pilot that helps Revan at the beginning of the game.
Yes,
because I reckon
the smuggler.
Yeah, I reckon he would be perfect for that part. And
yes,
if they kept it to, let's say, 8 episodes, I mean, take off the heels of The Mandalorian, you got 8 strong episodes, all directed by great fucking directors. And Bryce Dallas Howard, she was thrown in at the deep end and still did an amazing episode. Taika doing
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah,
she directed episode 4.
The actress from the Jurassic Park films.
Yeah. Ron Howard's daughter.
Really?
The girl that can really properly cry on cue.
Which episode did she do?
3rd episode.
Fuck.
I thought it was 4.
I was just watching her in an SNL skit. My favorite SNL skit series, Chad. If you haven't seen it.
I just realized that's actually Ron Howard's daughter. It didn't really dawn on me.
Really?
No, it didn't dawn on me. I was just like, it's the same name. I just never clicked with me. And I was like, holy shit, it is. It makes more sense now.
They should tell Jon Favreau, look, we need help with Old Republic stuff, because he's a huge fan of Star Wars as it is, and just push him towards Old Republic. Now, we know you're good with Mandalorian. Season 2 is done and dusted. It's great. But here's some really good shit that we'd really like to see your ideas. I mean, you want to play with bounty hunters and stuff like that. Yeah, you've got the Darksaber, great. But what if we actually gave you Jedis, an Old Republic, and the real, the Sith bravage of it, all the good stuff.
The thing is, if the thing with Jedis is, and I think this is why The Mandalorian works, and why I personally think Rogue One works, is not having so much force powers and everything revolving around magic makes it more real and relatable and more not tangible, but a bit more sort of visceral. Whereas if you've got guys who can literally just move shit with their mind and do stuff like that all the time, it sort of takes away from it slightly. So I think the fact that the Mandalorian
they're a Mary Sue species, essentially.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit easy for them.
That's why I like Donnie Yen as Chirrut Inouye in Rogue One.
Yeah.
He's not force sensitive. He may be force sensitive. He doesn't have any force powers, but he believes in the force. He believes in that. And when he's walking across that battlefield, going,
I'm one with the force.
I'm one with the force. The force is with me.
Yeah.
And he walks across and doesn't get hit. Is that the force?
You don't know, or it's just
Maybe.
luck. You don't know.
Maybe. Or is it luck?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
It's just Donnie Yen.
But his faith in the force, the character's faith in the force, it just sells it.
Yeah,
come on, if you saw Donnie Yen walking across the battlefield and you with that laser blast, you're like, I'm fucking touching him, you touch him.
That too. Donnie Yen is fantastic.
Yeah. And then when I say about Knights of the Old Republic as well, there is one of my favourite bits about that game is the planets, and when you think it's a game from 2003, but the depth that you get in some of these places. I mean, obviously, Tatooine we've seen plenty of times. That's fine, but you get a good look at Kashyyyk as well, the Wookiee planet, which was a really good part of the game, and even Korriban, you know, the ancestral home of the Sith. You know,
well, it's all in the Old Republic, the MMORPG that came out.
Yeah, because I'm actually working my way through it at the moment because I pre-ordered it at the time, but life kept getting in the way. So me and a couple of friends are kind of getting back into it properly now, just working our way through it.
I've always really enjoyed holocrons. I'd like to see that being used in the series more narratively.
They're in the game in the Old Republic MMORPG. I got to like level 50, and because it was BioWare, it had quite a good sort of kind of story arc to it and stuff. But it got to the point where I played it, and then there was no other content, and I hate grinding, so I just stopped. And stopped playing.
But the thing is, now you basically get access to all of it because it's all been written. And what they're doing at the moment is they're gradually making like all the grind stuff easier to get into as well. Like the latest update, all the end game stuff now has been juggled around. So if you want to play it solo instead of in groups, they've tiered it out and things like that.
Okay.
But you have access to all of them. And now when you go in, if you're playing a cup and you're a bit bored, you have one slot, even if you're not a subscriber, that you can just build a level 50 character and jump straight into all the Eternal Empire stuff with the twins and everything. That stuff there, which is supposed to be your end game now, is just if you just you've done 3 or 4 different things, I'm pissed bored of all that. You can just jump feet first into it and do the competitive stuff and everything else with whatever you've learned, or just because you fancy doing that instead.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I did one of the troopers, basically, with the big double, barrel gun and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just one of them. I didn't want to do the Jedi thing because that's just too cliche. Everybody's a Jedi, and it's just like, so I'll be one of these guys. Yeah, I quite liked it because it was just good, and the thing about BioWare is, they're quite good at investing you in their storylines and stuff, and
very good writers.
My guy fell in love with a turncoat Imperial officer and stuff, and so it was just like, it was good because it just feels kind of real in a way, so I think that's quite good. Yeah. Okay, been on for about an hour and a half. Probably going to leave it there because we're still having a few sort of technical issues, I think, with my internet connection, and I don't sort of want it cutting out again. So and this lull, I think we're going to end it there. So my apologies if there has been any technical issues. It's my internet's being naff, unfortunately,
Mr.
today.
Professional.
Yeah, Mr.
We just need a more professional person in charge.
Yeah, we just need a more professional person in charge, or better internet connection. But yes,
a professional would have sorted that.
A professional would have sorted that out, or knock it up halfway through to open this door for his girlfriend, and all kinds of things. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for everybody who joined us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, for all the comments. As always, thank you very much. If we didn't get to them, apologies. We try our best. It's just mid-flow, it's kind of hard. I try to jump in now and again to throw things in, but obviously we can't get to everybody's. So
I was going to say, before we do finish, I just want to make one quick note. This Friday on Netflix, there is a new TV show coming on called Space Force. If you've seen it advertised,
Steve Carell.
it's from Steve Carell and Greg Daniels, the award-winning duo, who helped bring The Office to America and made it really good. And this is basically The Office in space. It looks bloody hilarious. The trailer dropped about a week or so ago. I've watched it about 2 or 3 times, and I think it is amazing, and I cannot wait for this show.
And someone actually took the photo of Steve Carell in his Space Force outfit and replaced it in with the one that's at the official White House Space Force thing, which is fantastic, and I love that. Cool. And for anyone who's also been watching my wig progress, Bitch is done.
Yeah, well,
Bitch is done. Yes, as you can see, it takes a long time.
There you go. Okay, well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us. Again, apologies for any sort of technical issues. Hopefully it'll be better next week. But for tonight, I've been Matt Geary, and with me I've had Jon Jo Cosgrove.
Good evening, everyone. See you later.
Josh Varney.
Face front, true believers.
Mark Canty.
Catch you on the flip side.
Laura Benson.
Live long and prosper.
And as always, Peter Ray Allison.
Always no way towelers.
Okay, enjoy your Geek Pride Day tomorrow.
Happy birthday again to that guy.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dude.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
Happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday, mate.
Yep, happy birthday and good evening. Thanks a lot, everybody. See you later. Bye bye.